In the skies above North Korea, a new kind of air war is raging at 500 miles per hour. Jet versus jet, dogfighting for the first time in history. At the knife edge of the speed of sound, life or death is decided in fractions of a second. Now you're in the cockpit as American pilots pit their F-86 Sabres against communist MiG-15s, redefining air combat in pursuit of a previously unknown glory, the title of Jet Ace. Experience the battle, dissect the tactics, relive the dogfights. May 20th, 1951, American F-86 Sabre jets ripped through enemy airspace above Sinuiju, North Korea at over 500 miles per hour. Their objective is simple: lure enemy MiGs into a fight and kill as many as possible. These pilots are pioneers of a new age. Air combat is now driven by the jet engine.
These guys went into a very unknown environment. They went into a very tough war. This wasn't World War II. They took airplanes that were flying at twice the speed of any fighter combat before, and they showed us how it was done.
James Jabara flies element lead in a flight of 6. The 27-year-old captain is one of the best. A Mustang pilot during World War II, he's become a master of jet versus jet combat. With 4 MiG-15 kills to his credit, he's one away from becoming the first American ace of the jet age.
Jabara is so close. I mean, he's got 4 MiG kills. The Air Force desperately wants an ace, and he's the guy that can do it.
After only minutes in enemy territory, he'll get his chance. 50 gleaming MiG-15s scream across the Yalu River to take on the Americans. Jabara punches his tanks to streamline his fighter for combat, but something goes wrong.
He loses only one of his tanks, gets a huge asymmetric rocking motion on the aircraft, probably bangs his head off the canopy, has a difficult time controlling the airplane.
The pins securing the tanks to the wing have frozen, a common problem in the frigid skies of North Korea. Standing orders dictate that he must return to base.
He puts both hands on the stick, steadies it, and gets the aircraft back under control, and then in a very short amount of time has to make that critical combat decision. Can I still fight with this airplane? Now, his judgment is weighed with his aggressiveness, and his aggressiveness wins out.
Jabara and the rest of the Americans pull a right break into the oncoming enemy. Approaching head-on, the fighters close at over 1,600 feet per second. At this speed, it's next to impossible to get an accurate shot. The MiGs thunder past. Jabara jerks the stick hard left to pursue. The Hung wing tank turns his F-86 into a bucking Bronco.
He's probably pulling 30, 40, 50 pounds of stick force right there and trying to control his jet as he's pulling lead out in front.
Jabara's wingman, Salvatore Kemp, calls out 3 more MiGs, diving fast from behind. The MiGs are here. They've gained a 100-mile-per-hour speed advantage in the dive. Jabara and Kemp are here, with only a split second to counter them. The MiGs hurtle in. Jabara pulls up and to the right. He's using the MiGs' diving speed against them, forcing an overshoot.
Jabara's brake turn up to the right forces two MiGs to go right by and continue to go. One MiG, for one reason or another, decides to peel off to the left, exposing his belly to Jabara.
Jabara pounces. He snaps his plane to the left and locks onto tail end Charlie.
Not only is that the sign of a good fighter pilot, but it's a sign of a good fighter pilot in the new jet age. Things happen extremely fast, and those that are able to react almost before it happens are able to take advantage.
The Bandit stays in a diving left turn. Jabara pulls the stick in tight to stay in trail. At this altitude, the F-86 and MiG-15 are evenly matched in a turning fight. But Jabara's got something his foe lacks: a G-suit. It's a World War II invention that came into its own as an essential tool of dogfighting in the jet age. The G-suit constricts around Jabara's legs and abdomen, keeping blood from pooling in his extremities. Jabara is able to pull tighter than the MiG pilot without blacking out. He closes the gap. His coveted fifth kill is now in perfect position, dead center in his gun sight. Jabara opens fire. 50 caliber rounds impact the MiG. The pilot ejects. Seconds later, the empty fuselage explodes.
This is what he's been working for. This is why he's been in Korea. So he has got to be elated at this point.
It's a confirmed kill. America has its first jet ace. James Jabara honed his skills in the prop-driven fighters of World War II. After the war, he became one of the first American pilots to fly the next generation of combat aircraft, the jet fighter. In a turbojet engine, air enters an intake and is compressed into a combustion chamber where fuel is added and ignited. The rapidly expanding gas forces its way through a turbine and out the exhaust port, creating a massive amount of forward thrust. The jet engine was pioneered by British and German engineers during World War II. In the waning months of the war, the Germans were the first to send a jet fighter into combat, the Me-262. Twin turbojet engines gave it a 100-mile-per-hour speed advantage over prop fighters. The Me-262 combined jet technology with an innovative swept wing design. The swept wing created less drag than a conventional straight wing, allowing for higher top speeds. During the war years, both the Russians and Americans developed their own first-generation jet fighters, the MiG-9 and the P-59 era Comet. But these underpowered straight-wing designs never saw combat. In 1947, when German technology became available, both the Americans and the Russians adapted the swept wing. The result was the F-86 Sabre and the MiG-15. The F-86 had exceptional visibility and a strong airframe designed for air-to-air combat. The MiG was lighter, with a faster rate of climb and a higher service ceiling. In the skies above North Korea, these fighters would square off in the first large-scale jet versus jet dogfights in history. May 20th, 1951. After 6 months of high-speed air